What's going on, guys? We just got back from Concours d'Elegance. Vet looked great up there. We had my car as well as my parents' 66. John's big turbo. It was a hell of a morning. Took the Corvette back to my father-in-law, and we just picked up his ROUSH F150. I'll give a full walkthrough on the truck after we clean it up, but I just want to show you what it looks like now before we start cleaning it. We're going to completely clean it, strip it, clay it if it needs to. We'll see when we get there. Do a paint correction on it, and then we're going to coat it. I haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to coat it in C-quartz or just a coating of ceramic boost, because he does run it through normal car wash. It's his everyday work truck. So anyway, this is what it looks like right now. Pretty filthy. Like I said, it's just his everyday driver. He actually went in to buy a Raptor, and I kind of talked him into this just because I think that this truck is a much better starting point than a Raptor. It's got a Coyote in it. He wants to do a big horsepower build. Like I said in the last video, this will have a ROUSH TBS on it in the next month. I will chronicle that build as we're doing it. So it should be a cool truck when it's done. Should make some nice power. The color's great. But just want to show you how filthy it is before we get going. Interior is pretty dirty too. Got the big sunroof. That's his work truck, so gets used every day on job sites. So yeah, that's how it looks right now. So as you can tell, we got our work cut out for us. Me and Trent are gonna bang this thing out though. Stay tuned. So we are going to use Hydro Suds. This is a new product from Chemical Guys. It's my favorite car wash right now. Even on a non-coated car, this stuff is amazing. The suds are, well, it's the best car wash I've ever used, period. So we're gonna start with that. I also have just some Adams wheel cleaner, because as you can tell, these wheels are absolutely bombed. He drives on a dirt road every day, so we're gonna make sure those look brand new when we're done too. I like to get the wheels just a little bit wet, especially when they're this dirty, before I spray on the wheel cleaner with the hose, bud.
Oh, okay.
Kind of let that work in. This stuff is also awesome on exhaust tips. Anything that's, you know, super dirty, I'll hit with this. Obviously not paint. So what I like to use is this wheel brush. I think this is an Adams wheel brush, but it's really good for getting into these spokes. Doesn't scratch anything. You know, so we use this bucket for the wheels, and then we'll start fresh with new stuff. But does awesome getting in all the cracks, and especially when the wheels are this filthy, having this brush that can get in there. You know, if I was really doing this up, I'd probably take the wheels off, but this brush and the shape of these wheels makes it actually pretty easy to get in all the cracks with these. You can just see the suds, this ceramic. It's amazing, this soap. Suds just don't end. All right, T-blast that wheel off. Let's see how we're looking. So one more coat, just go over these twice. Make sure you get every bit of dirt off them, because we're gonna coat these, so we gotta make sure that they are cleaned up perfect. All right, let's see how that is. Like to get in these fender liners while I'm doing the wheels. So since this bucket is the wheel bucket, I'll do the fender liners while I'm at it, and I'll probably do under the hood as well before I switch to a new bucket to do the paint. Did you spray these exhaust tips with the iron remover, T?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at all that coming off. That Adams iron remover for real stubborn stuff like this is awesome, especially you guys with white cars that get the brake dust iron on the back that you can notice. Use that a lot on the Fiesta, but you can see on these exhaust tips it just pulls all that crap right out of it. Alright, so we got the wheels and under the hood all cleaned up. They look good. We're just gonna give this thing a quick bath before we start claying it. And sometimes I'll clay it as I wash it, but I'll probably use clay lube on this. Paint's actually better than I thought it was gonna be, considering it goes through car washes. But so you guys know, when you're washing a car, always wash the side in the shade first. Try to avoid water spots as much as possible. Yeah, the suds this stuff makes is just awesome. A big truck, a lot of square footage here. I like washing the Mustang. I always try to start at the top and work my way down when I wash any car. And the key is rinsing in the bucket often. If you don't have two buckets, another thing you can do is just before you put your, I obviously have a dirt trap in that bucket, but just spray your whatever you're washing the car off with some fresh water if you're not doing two buckets before you go back into your suds. That way you won't get any, hopefully won't get any grime. Little scratch of paint. What I'll usually do is I'll do one coat like that, spray it off. You know you're gonna find spots you miss. Instead of trying to get those spots when you dry, you guys know what I'm talking about. You're better off taking the extra 2 minutes, getting your mitt wet again, get soap on it, and make sure it's all properly cleaned. That's how you get scratches. All right, last hose off here. Looking for any spots we might have missed. We also did inside the door jambs because they were covered in dirt, and pulled out the floor mats and used all-purpose Adams all-purpose cleaner on those. Scrubbed them with a scrub brush, left those to dry. I also like to use this after wash from Chemical Guys, especially if it's sunny like this and you got to kind of work fast. If you just dust the car with this, you can see it stuff's hydrophobic, so it just pushes the water off the paint. It makes, and it's a lubricant, so it makes drying it off just way easier. You can see how nice that dries up. It's just an ultra plush drying towel. I think this is a Chemical Guys one. So yeah, we'll get this thing dried up real quick. On to the next step. The paint's actually a lot better than I thought it was, so I'm actually not going to clay it. We're just going to use a black pad, hex pad, and I'm actually going to use, if I can find it up here, this all-in-one from Chemical Guys. Polish and sealant. This stuff is awesome. I use it on cars that are in this kind of shape. So I like to just kind of dab it on there to start. Then I make sure this is on one. And just use the polisher on one to spread the product out evenly. actually gonna go up on the hood. A lot more product on here than I thought. Usually I would tape off the plastic with painter's tape, but this polish actually doesn't seem to leave residue on plastic parts. So then what I do is just crank it up to 6 and just let the polisher do the work. And then with this pad, what I do is just use an air compressor with a small tip, and I'll blow this pad out a lot. So this is gonna need to get blown out right now before we do the next piece. But see where we're at with just that first little bit.
That looks good.
Yeah, it really came out awesome. So yeah, I think that's all it's really gonna take. We'll have to get the other polisher to get in all the tight spots, but I think one quick pass across the whole truck with that. I mean, the paint looks really, really good. You're not pushing that hard, you're just kind of letting the machine do the work. That's doing a great job, man. Paint just came right back on that door. Look at that. That looks great. So yeah, let's do the whole truck. Okay, we just polished the whole truck. Took about an hour and a half. Looks pretty darn good. And I was debating whether to use ceramic boost or coat it. But what I actually am settling on to do the paint is I'm gonna use this Chemical Guys Activate. This stuff is really cool, you know, especially for someone that's still gonna run a car through a car wash. You don't wanna, you know, can get anything on it. It's easy to apply, to reapply, not like a ceramic coating where you really should use certain shampoos for the paint. This you can kind of just treat it how you would treat normal paint. So this stuff is really easy to apply, and the finished product is really awesome with this stuff. So what I do is I just put a few strips on a foam applicator like this, microfiber applicator, and then it's simply wipe it on, just kind of like you were doing wax. And then you just gotta let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes on the paint. It'll haze up. It's a little bit hot out today, so it'll probably haze up a little bit quicker than that. I think the last time I used this was in the winter in the garage on a car, and it took a little longer, but as you can see, it goes on really easy. And a little bit will go a long way. It's a lot like ceramic in that aspect, that you don't need to put a ton on the applicator. This bottle will last you. You can do a bunch of cars with one bottle. So I like to do sections so I know where they're at. And if you see you missed any spots, you can just go back over it before it dries. I think on the bottle it says let it flash for 15 minutes, yeah, but I found that can be a little bit long when it's hot like this. They probably have temperature settings too that I may not be abiding by right now. Okay, so the door, that fender was the first part. T, I'll do this door, and I'll tell you when you can start taking that off.
This fender?
Yeah, I'll tell you when. Go over this flag. Actually, you can kind of treat this just like spray wax. Basically, it's just a little bit better of a protectant. Think of it as a bridge between ceramic coating a car and waxing a car. It's definitely better, more protectant than wax. but not nearly as good as, you know, full ceramic. One of my favorite products from Chemical Guys, though, for sure. All right, it's been about 8 minutes actually, and this is flashing. Yeah, there we go. You can see how easy it wipes off. It really takes nothing. It just, wow, look at that pop, T. Oh, this stuff is awesome. Seriously, for how easy this is to put on and take off, man, I'd put this up against almost anything.
That would work good for like a grill.
I don't know how good this is coming through in the camera, but this paint looks just bonkers after that. It looks so good. Barely takes any pressure. Just kind of buff it away. And it's just, I mean, it's slick. You can do a whole car with this in relatively short order because it goes on and off so easy. You can see it just comes right off. For you Mustang or F150 guys, you know that this plastic on the pillars here, it gets so scratched up. Same with the back of a Mustang. But what I did was I just polished this with the same polish, and I just put Activate over it, and it looks like glass now. I mean, it came out killer. So ceramic boost, this is what I use on wheels on my car. It's really easy. Simply spray it on, wipe it in, and then buff it off. And this stuff is amazing, especially on black wheels. It will make these things pop like you've never seen your wheels pop. I'm gonna do all this trim, all this trim, the running boards, the mirrors, anything that's black, basically. I'm even gonna try doing this sticker. It's really thick, with the old trusty VRP from Chemical Guys. Adams makes, you know, a product that's basically exactly the same as this. I always go on with a applicator. This one's a little bit dirty, but I usually go on and then I foul it with another microfiber just to even it out. So I'll kind of coat the whole piece that I want to do. And I just come over with a fresh microfiber and just, I guess, kind of level it. Just kind of put it on there even as you can. And I just come right back over like that. Let's see what these running boards do. I have to get inside all these nooks and crannies. This might be a good job for you, T.
I did some of them earlier.
Oh, amazing the difference that makes. It's on the side of the truck.
Now with all of it done, it looks brand new.
Looks pretty good. You can just see how it just revitalizes it, though. All right, truck is done. Came out awesome. Max got out his Raptor too, so they're twinning. Pretty funny. But yeah, truck came out awesome. Sorry about the wind, guys. Super windy out right now. Like I said, this truck will be on the channel a bunch. I just wanted to clean it up for him before we start doing the blower install here in a week. Pretty happy with how it came out. I didn't do the interior yet. That's gonna be tomorrow's project. But it's a super nice truck. I really like the full glass roof in it. That's really rad. Right now it's just a Coyote. I think the only thing they do to it is the lift, the wheels. It's got Fox shocks on it. Obviously the big tires, the graphics package. It's got ROUSH exhaust on it, obviously. Sounds pretty good. Jack Roush. So yeah, we're me and T are gonna go rip this thing around now that it's clean, take it back to Grandpa. What do you think?
Let's do it!
See ya!
Alright guys, we got the truck all cleaned up, just took it for a ride. It's ready for the supercharger. It'll be really cool when it's done with the blower on it. Should make some pretty serious power with that setup. This is kind of a different one for us. I figure I have the truck, I might as well record what we're doing. Some people might find it interesting, some may not. So if you like this kind of content, please like it if you do, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Growing subscribers, that's great. It really motivates me to keep doing what we're doing. I'm gonna get back to the build breakdowns. I got another really cool one lined up tomorrow. Probably gonna be the most watched video if I had to guess. It's really, really cool car. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Peace!